Hello and welcome to the DX Corner for your weekly dose of DX as part of Ham Radio's oldest ham radio magazine on the air, This Week in Amateur Radio. I'm Bill, AJ8B. If you are watching this on YouTube, the text of this will be included in the show notes. I'm trying to focus on those entities that will be available in the next week. There's so much data to sift through that I thought a focus on the next 7 days might be helpful to your operating schedule. However, let's start today with some general DX information. You need to look for this in 2 weeks. A group of operators from Azerbaijan are planning a de-expedition to the rare location of Kizi Mountain as 4 Kilo Zero Tango on March 29th and 30th. Activity will be on sideband and FT8 on 80 through 10 meters. Details regarding QSL and real-time updates will be communicated during the event. And again, that's just the 29th and 30th of March. The surprise for me this week was the arrival of V6WG from the Federated States of Micronesia. Here's a bit of information about the FSM, or the Federated States of Micronesia, from the CIA Fact Book. Each of the 4 states that compose the Federated States of Micronesia, Chuuk, Khosrae, Pohnpei, and Yap, has its own unique history and cultural traditions. The first humans arrived in what is now FSM in the 2nd millennium BC. In the 800s AD, construction of the artificial islets at the Nam Madol complex in Pohnpei began, with the main architecture being built around 1200. At its height, Nam Madol united the approximately 25,000 people of Pohnpei under the Sadur dynasty. By 1250, Khosrae was united in kingdoms centered in Lelu Yap. Yap society became strictly hierarchical, with chiefs receiving tributes from islands as much as 700 miles away. Widespread human settlement in Chuuk began in the 1300s, and the different islands in the Chuuk Lagoon were frequently at war with each other. Portuguese and Spanish explorers visited a few of the islands in the 1500s, and Spain began exerting nominal but not day-to-day control over some of the islands, which they named the Caroline Islands, in the 1600s. In 1899, Spain sold all of the FSM to Germany. Japan seized the islands in 1914 and was granted a League of Nations mandate to administer them in 1920. The Japanese Navy built bases across most of the islands and headquartered it at Chuuk. The U.S. bombed Chuuk in 1944, but largely bypassed the other islands in its leapfrog campaign across the Pacific. In 1947, the FSM came under U.S. administration as part of the Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands, which comprised 6 districts: Chuuk, the Marshall Islands, the Northern Mariana Islands, Palau, Pohnpei, and Yap. Khosrae was separated from Pohnpei into a separate district in 1977. In 1979, Chuuk, Khosrae, Pohnpei, and Yap ratified the Federated States of Micronesia Constitution and declared independence, while the other 3 districts opted to pursue separate political status. There are significant inter-island rivalries stemming from their different histories and cultures. Chuuk, the most populous but poorest state, has pushed for secession, but an independent referendum has been repeatedly postponed. FSM is located in Oceania. It is an island group in the North Pacific Ocean, about 3/4 of the way from Hawaii to Indonesia. The climate is tropical, heavy year-round rainfall, especially in the eastern islands, located on the southern edge of the typhoon belt with occasionally severe damage from typhoons. The islands vary geologically from high mountainous islands to low coral atolls. Volcanic outcroppings on Pohnpei, Khosrae, and Chuuk Islands exist. I hope you find that a little bit interesting. I didn't know anything about the Federated States of Micronesia, and I had to look them up, and I thought I'd share it with you. We also have this press release from 3Y0K, the Bouvet Island team. In February of 2026, or in less than a year, an international team of 24 amateur radio operators will land on Bouvet Island. Bouvet is a Norwegian overseas territory and lies in the South Atlantic Ocean, with 93% of its surface covered by ice and snow. It sets the record as the most remote uninhabited island on Earth and ranks number 10 on the most wanted DXCC listing at Club Log. Operating as 3Y0K, our team will attempt to give as many all-time new ones as possible and be active in all amateur radio bands from 10 to 160. We will direct our attention to human modes, but will be active in CW, sideband, FT8 RTTY, and QO100 satellite, using up to 12 stations. So this is a major effort. We have the necessary permit to land on Bouvet by helicopter issued by the Norwegian Polar Institute. Our plan is to start the sea journey in Cape Town, South Africa, from where an icebreaker under Icelandic flag will take us to the island in 7 days. Since landing depends on the weather conditions, we are scheduled to be on and around the island for up to 21 days. A helicopter will assist us in bringing ashore a significant amount of equipment to set up a camp with 2 radio tents. One radio tent on the lower area of Cape Fee and one radio tent on the upper area that has a better takeoff angle to North America, and that will be the main North American station. The logistics behind this project are complex and require a budget of $1.65 million. Most of the money is used to pay for the services offered by the icebreaker and its crew, the helicopter with its 2 pilots and 1 mechanic, as well as the fuel. Each team member is contributing a significant amount to the budget, and that they will also incur costs for commercial airfare, 2 side trips to Norway required for various tasks, winter sleeping bags, clothing, etc. Passionate amateur operators and clubs around the world, as well as multiple companies, are supporting this project. As a prime example, the Northern California DX Foundation has pledged up to $200,000, of which half matched against donations received from outside of North America. Companies such as DX Engineering, ICOM, RF Power, and ACOM are supporting the team with a multitude of radio equipment components. We also teamed up with small private group to share the large costs of the DXpedition. Please visit our website at www.3y0k.com to read more about this project, the team, the latest news, and learn about the complex preparations the team is engaged in to ensure that its mission will be executed safely and successfully. At this time, we are looking to raise an additional $200,000 to avoid putting further financial strain on the team. So if you can help out, even $10 or $20, please go to 3y0k.com and pledge that. Thank you in advance for your support, and we look forward to contacting you from the most uninhabited island on Earth. And that was from the team 3y0k. So we go from one of the coldest and most remote places on Earth to a Caribbean location. Did you ever want to work from a Caribbean location and never leave your house? Here's your opportunity. Quote, announcing the 2025 PJ6Y DXpedition to Saba with co-leaders Greg, W6IZT, Dean, W2FQ, and Jeff, NM1Y, in collaboration with Youth on the Air. They are thrilled to announce an upcoming DXpedition to Saba Island. They plan to arrive on Saba on October 17th and be on the air through October 29th. Quote, our primary operating site is situated on the north side of the island at an elevation of approximately 1,200 feet. The team will consist of 14 on-island operators, including 8 young operators under the age of 25. Notably, 4 of these young ops participated as remote operators in the recent 3 Delta 2 Yankee DXpedition to Rotuma. The local team will be complemented by 25 to 30 remote operators, so there's your chance. We will have 3 stations available for local operators as well. We extend a special thanks to the Northern California DX Foundation for their generous grant to construct 2 next-gen RIB-2 stations based on Elecraft K4Ds for remote operation. Activity will be on 80 through 6 meters plus satellite, and we will also participate in the CQ Worldwide Single Sideband Contest. So if this is something you'd like to participate in, just drop me a note, thedxmentor@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up with the right people. This section of DX News comes from Bernie, W3UR, editor of the DailyDX, the WeeklyDX, and the How's DX column in QST. If you would like a free 2-week trial of the DailyDX, your only source of real-time DX information, just drop me a note at thedxmentor@gmail.com. So this is where we're focusing on just what it's going to be on in the next week. So let's see how many of these you're able to work. Maurizio, IK2GZU, is headed back to Tanzania, where he will be QRV as 5 Hotel 3 Mike Bravo, March 18th to April 8th. He will have a Yaesu FT-891 in dipoles and a ground plane. He hopes to upload QSOs daily, the Logbook of the World, and Club Log, and you can QSL via his home call or LoTW or eQSL. The EIDX group is currently active as 6 Yankee 7 Echo India from St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica, until March 24th. In line with their previous expeditions, which were 5 Victor 7, 7 Papa 8, 7Q7, 9N7, and V26, they will operate on 160 through 6 meters CW, sideband, and FT8. They will have 8 stations on the air, and this year they will use an ACOM power amplifier on 6 meters. And you can QSL them via M0OXO. And I've heard them on the air a lot, and they're very active. And if you need Jamaica or you just want to work them, please do so. Mike, M0MDS, is currently QRV as J6 from St. Lucia, J6 M0MDS until March 24th. He will be active from 10 to 15 meters using CW, FT8, and sideband. QSL his home call. Fred, G4XWM, is currently QRV as V4 stroke G4XWM from St. Kitts and Nevis until March 29. He is operating on HF using CW and sideband, and you can QSL him via LoTW or Club Log. Mike, VE2XB, will be active as J38XB from Grenada until March 31. Activity will be 160 through 10 meters using sideband with some CW, and you can QSL his home call. I checked the DX cluster today, and there not have been any spots yet, but keep your ears open for this one. Mike's a really good operator, and I'm sure he'll be on there. Rick, WE9G, has been very active as V6WG for Micronesia, and that was the station I mentioned earlier when we did a little discussion on Micronesia. He will be QRV until April 1st. His IoT designator is OC-059, and he will be on all bands from 80 to 6 meters. He said that 160 might be possible. He will mainly be using FT4, FT8 with some CW and sideband, and as the others, he can be QSL'd via Club Log. Ishmael, A Papa 6 Papa Echo, plans a SOTA activity from St. Vincent as J87 Papa Echo until March 30th. He has been spotted several times, so I know he's QRV. He planned to be on 20 through 6 meters using a Yaesu FT-891 in various antennas, and you can QSL him via his home call of 8 Papa 6 Papa Echo. And one of the best CW operators I know, Bud, AA3B, plans to be active from Antigua as V26 Kilo between March 25th and April 2nd. He will focus mainly on CW outside of the CQ Worldwide SSB WPX contest, and you can QSL his home call, LOTW, or OQRS. And finally, there's a group of Czechoslovakian operators who will be operating from Rodriguez Island as 3 Baker 9 Delta Juliet from March 24th to April 5th. They plan to work on frequencies from 160 through 10 meters using CW, FT8, and sideband mode. And you can QSL that group via OK6DJ and LOTW. So there's a handful of things that are going to be on this next 7 days, and I hope you get to work them, and I hope you let me know what you think of this format. The most recent DX Mentor YouTube episode is with the DX Adventure team who is wrapping up their DXpedition to Andaman Island, and I think by the time this airs, they'll have shut down. Check it out on the DX Mentor YouTube channel or on the DX Mentor podcast. You can also join us on the DX Mentor Facebook page to keep tabs on what is current and what is coming. And I can tell you, there's something coming that you're going to want to listen to or watch. So here's some contest updates. I know that the ARL contest sheet is read elsewhere in the podcast, and the contests that I mention are sometimes redundant. However, there are a few contests that I have found to be especially useful for DXers who are trying to fill band slots or to get entities or zones in the log that may otherwise be difficult to get. Here are some details on one of my favorite contests, the 2025 CQ Worldwide WPX contest. The sideband weekend is March 29th to 30th, and the CW weekend is May 24th to 25th. The contest starts at 0 Zulu on Saturday, which frankly is Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, and ends at 23:59 Zulu on Sunday. So I could go on a little bit, but I just went to the CQ Worldwide WPX website and I found this explanation. Quote, thrill in the chase of thousands of unique call sign prefixes from hundreds of DX entities in the world's largest Everyone Works Everyone radio contests. The CQ Worldwide WPX, or the WPX for short, contests are immensely popular operating activities that enjoy broad participation by amateurs around the globe. The events attract amateurs at all levels of proficiency from beginner to world champion. WPX features a diversity of categories for single operator and multi-operator stations, including youth overlays for entrants 25 years of age or younger. So please come and join the fun. Here are the basics of the contest. Amateurs worldwide try to contact as many amateurs and prefixes as possible during the period of operation. Single operator stations may operate 36 of the 46 hours, and off times must be a minimum of 60 minutes, during which time no QSO can be logged. Multi-operator stations may operate for the full 48 hours. Contacts are valid on 160, 80, 40, 17, 21, and the 28 megahertz bands. No work bands, please. The exchange is RST report and a progressive contact serial number starting with 01 for the first contact. With a call like AJ8B, you can see why I like these contests, because I become something they're chasing. So I always enjoy that. Please send me an email for any details you need on any of the things we talked about. Until next week, this is Bill, AJB, saying 7-3, and thanks to my ex-whale Karen for her love and support. I hope to hear you in the pile-ups.